cal we calculate function, calculate table function, filter function, all selected, all except keep filter, remove filter, selected value. All these type of DAX function, these are DAX function. All these DAX functions falls under a category called filter. Okay, filter functions. These are filter functions. Okay. And first we'll start with understand what is calculate function in DAX. This is very important, guys. If you say that you worked in Power BI, you should know this function. If you say, I don't know, I did not use it, then definitely they will not continue with any other question. They will say, we'll get back to you. Okay. So what is the syntax for the calculate function? The first argument supposed to be an expression. Second, in the second argument, it can be a filter. Okay. So filter 1, filter 2, filter n. You can apply n number of filters, but the first argument is supposed to be an expression. Okay. Okay, syntax is fine. Okay, what is filter 1, filter? So can I use Boolean filter? Yes, you can use Boolean filter. You can use table filter. You can use filter modification functions. This is mandatory expression, and these are optional. You can use the filter or you don't have to use the filter. The filters can be any one of the following. It can be a Boolean filter. It can be a table filter. It can be a filter modification function. This I'll show you with demo. Don't worry. So what? Okay, fine. The syntax, everything is fine. What is the purpose of calculate function? The calculate function in DAX, right? It evaluates this expression in a modified filter context. This is very much important. In a modified filter context, the calculate function evaluates your expression. There are two parts here in this case, the aggregation, the expression, okay, which is mandatory, and the filter. It is very much similar to the Excel summary function. How many of you use summary function in Excel? It is similar to your Excel summary function. Okay, now the question is, what can we do with calculate function? Okay, it can modify the filter context of the expression, right? And it can override the already existing filter context. If the filter context does not exist, it will add new filter. For example, you have a filter context, you have a filter available already. You want to override the filter context, that is possible. If there is no filter is available in my DAX function, yes, you can add a new filter. You can modify the filter context. Everything you can do it with the help of the calculate function. Okay, and I'll just give you some examples. So this is Boolean filter. Okay, so here the calculate function, and inside that the first argument is the expression sum of sales. This is an expression. Second argument is filter. So in this case, I've used the Boolean expression. What do you mean by Boolean expression? Country equal to UK. Sales W0 table, I have a column called country is equivalent to UK. That means compute the total sales for the UK country. So this country equal to UK, right? In the data set, wherever the country equal to UK is there, it will return true. For that, returned value true records, right? It will compute the total sales. This is what the Boolean expression. In the case of Boolean expression, return true or false. Okay. Wherever the country equal to UK in your data set, it will return true. And for those records, it will compute the total sales. This is mandatory because the first argument is an expression. You have to use it mandatory. The second one is optional. Either you can use the Boolean filter context, or you can use table filter expression, or you can use modified filter related function. Okay, modifying filter functions. Okay, this is optional. The first one is mandatory. This is called Boolean filter. Let's go step by step. Don't worry. Okay. Next one is, can I have more than one Boolean condition? Yes. So now you have included additional filter. So in the United Kingdom, for those transactions we made more than 10 units sold, right? Compute the total sales. So here this is mandatory, this is optional, and here we have more than one Boolean filter expression is there. Okay. The next one is instead of using the Boolean filter like country equal to United Kingdom, quantity is greater than 10, you can use the filter expression. Okay. There is a filter function. The first argument for the filter function is the table name, and then you can use the filter condition here, United Kingdom. This is mandatory. This is called your optional, and it is called table filter expression, because the filter function will return a table. And here you have mentioned about the country equal to United Kingdom. It will create a virtual table behind the scene wherein it will store only the United Kingdom related records. On top of that records, it performs the total sales. Hence, the number of records will be less, hence the performance will be faster. Okay, this is called your table filter expression. And previously we have seen the Boolean filter expression. And in this case, next question is, which here I have two Boolean filter condition is there, right? Two Boolean filter is there. And here, look here, instead of using the sum of sales, I have created a measure called total sales. Total sales equal to sum of sales, right? I can reuse that measure here. See here, the first argument is mandatory. There is no doubt. Okay, this is mandatory. This is mandatory, right? Instead of using, see, I have already created another measure called total sales. See, total sales is equivalent to sum of sales. Since we can, this is a measure, right? This is total sales, okay? Total sales. You can use this measure inside another measure, okay? So that is what we, so in this case, the measure name is calculate with filter measure. This is a different measure, okay? This is a different measure. This measure, total sales, I use it inside. Instead of typing sum of sales every time, you can reuse the same measure here, right? So this is nothing but sum of sales. And here the same Boolean expression. Now the question is, we have two filter condition. Which condition will get evaluated first and which one will get evaluated? What is the order of evaluating these expressions? So the filter conditions. So in this case, what will happen is, since you have two filter condition, the second filter condition, right? Sorry, the innermost filter condition will get evaluated first. And then the outermost filter condition will get evaluated. And finally, this expression will get evaluated. This is logically correct, right? See, if I give you a paper full, simple, plain layman expression, if I give a paper, full scale paper, right? You can see, you have a column called quantity and then location key, and location key, let's Hyderabad is there, and Bangalore is there, and Chennai is there, and again Chennai is there, and again you have Hyderabad is there. In quantities, 100, and here 20, here you have done 10, here 2, and Hyderabad again, 50. So here the location is, so, and then if I ask you to tell me, you have the sales column here, right? So sales column. And here, sales is, 1050, or, 1000, 2000, 1000, and, 500. See here you have 20,000, something, 2000 or something like that, okay? So if I ask you a question, let's say I have given you, a paper wherein I have written all the things. If I ask you, hey, tell me in Hyderabad location, okay, here instead of 50, right? What I will do is I will just put 3. Okay, 3 here I just say 50. Okay. If I ask you in Hyderabad location where we sold more than 10 units, for those transactions, give me the total sales. I'll just put one more record here, Hyderabad. And here, you have, 10. Sorry, 20. Okay. And then here you have, 1050, something like that. So what you will do? How will you find out the total sales for the Hyderabad, for which the quantity, for wherein the quantity we sold more than 2? So in that case, you look at only the Hyderabad related transaction, right? First, you apply the filter logically. Take only the Hyderabad related records, group all the Hyderabad related records. Mentally, you do it. And then what you do is, and then first filter is Hyderabad, you filter it. Second one is quantity is greater than, this is not quantity is greater than, right? Hence, you are going to discard this one. And then rest, you take only this one, Hyderabad and Hyderabad. Hyderabad in total, we have 3 records. But the one record which is not meeting this condition, because in this location we sold only 2 units. Hence, you simply discarded this one. So you are end up having 22 records in Hyderabad. So now you do 1,000 plus 1,050, 2,050. So the same, so in this case, what happened? The inner filter, right, will get evaluated first, and then the outermost filter will get executed, and finally it will compute the total. So rather, if you compute the total sales, see in this case, only 5 or 6 records are there, right? But in the table, you have 1 million, let's say 25 million records are there. If you compute the total sales for the 25 million records, and then you select only the Hyderabad record, and then if you apply the filter quantity is greater than 10, that's waste of time. It consumes too much of memory, CPU, everything, right? Your system will get stalled. Rather, first you select only the Hyderabad related records, and within the Hyderabad records, you filter only the quantity, greater than 10. So you end up only 2 records. With the 2 records, if you compute the total, it will be pretty faster, right? So that is what is happening behind this. The same principle is applicable in SQL also, guys. They will ask you how to do the tuning, SQL tuning. You can, tell, this kind of thing also, okay? So first the filter will get applied, and then the expression will get evaluated. But here I have more than one filtering condition. Which of these two, which one will get evaluated? The innermost one will get evaluated first, and then the outermost will get evaluated. This is the rule of thumb. Okay. But did I write this DAX command in the proper order? No, right? No, right? So in this case, what happened? The innermost one will get evaluated first. What happens is, take all the transactions where the quantity is greater than 10. So in Chennai also, you have greater than 10 quantities there. In Mumbai also, you have greater than 10 quantities there. You take all the cities where the quantity is greater than 10, and then you apply the filter on Hyderabad. So ideally, this one's supposed to be here. This one's supposed to be here. So in the interview, when they ask you, did you do any performance tuning? See, if you say you are 3 + 6 years experience, right? You need to know the performance tuning also. Okay, so what we did, one of the developers, when I reviewed their report, the DAX function, they have written it like this, because the order of the evaluation of the filter condition, they did not understand. So this is what the scenario. What I did, I replaced, this one by this one. I just swapped this one, okay? The location key equal to Hyderabad, and then quantity is greater than 10. And when I change this filter condition, the performance was pretty faster. Okay, I was able to improve the performance by 12%. You need to quantify. Okay, performance. Okay, you improved the performance. Did you improve the performance? Did you do the fine tuning? Yes. The report was pretty slow. And then when I examined the DAX function returned by, or measure returned by one of my developers, I could see if you are a lead developer, or if you say, no, I'm having 5 years experience, 4 year experience. I worked in bank as a senior person, right? They will expect you to be like this, performance tuning everything. Here, this is how it works. The innermost filter will get applied first, then outermost. But the innermost, if you apply this, what will happen? It goes and takes all the cities quantities greater than 10 related transactions. That's unnecessary thing, right? Take only Hyderabad related records. That is a smart way of doing it. Within the Hyderabad record, you filter only the records or the transactions that we could see the quantities greater than 10, and then you compute the totals. So in this case, what happened? You end up only 2 records, right? First, you filtered only the Hyderabad 3 records, and within the 3 records, you applied this condition, right? So ideally, right, if you rewrite this, second line, this one should come here, this one should come in the third line. So what will happen is, it will filter first Hyderabad 3 records, and then the next filter is, the greater than 10 here, right? It is here. So in that case, it excluded this one, right? This is not meeting the criteria. You end up having only 2 transactions related to Hyderabad, wherein the quantity is greater than 10. So then if you perform the total sales, that makes sense. So the order of the evaluation of the DAX functions also, important. Okay. And okay, next one is, so now you understood what is Boolean expression and table filter expression. You understood. And then the next one is the evaluation order. And finally, you have something called all function. Okay. See the same thing here. Same thing I use it here, except one thing. So everything is same, right? But here also, right, this one should come here and this one should come here. Okay, fine. But in addition to that, I have written something else called all function here. This is called filter modification function. Whenever you use any filter modification function, this one will get evaluated first. And then the innermost, second, and then the third. Okay. So this is the order. Okay. Whenever you, this is called filter modification function. Remember that. Boolean filter, table filter, filter modification function, all selected. These are called your filter modification function. Okay. Look here. In this case, the all function, which is nothing but the filter one, that one will get valid first. And then the next one is this one, and then this one, and this one will get to see here something wrong. Okay. And the valid will lost. Okay. So this is the processing order. In the case of right, the visual filters are applied. This can be from your additional filters from. So this one we can discuss it when I give you a demo so that you'll be able to understand. These are some example. Okay, I'll just show you a demo so that you'll be able to understand very clearly about the calculate function. Look here, I just create a matrix visual. So here, what I do is I just same thing. We will use category. We'll use the simple example because you're already familiar with category. I just drop the category column here. Okay, and I'm going to use the segment column here. Okay, before segment column, what I do is I just use the total sales measure, which I created a while back. It gives me total sales, and then probably we can use the quantity also. Okay. Sorry, quantity column. I just draw the quantity. This is a implicit measure. Okay, let it be there. So total sales and quantity along with the categories there. Okay. What I do is I'm going to create a measure wherein I'm going to use some filter context. Okay. And I'm going to add a new filter context here. I go to the modeling ribbon. And before that, I just check here. I have any calculate. Here it is not there. Okay, fine. Okay, what I do is in the modeling ribbon, I'm going to create a new measure. Here, I'm going to use a calculate function. Okay, here I just say total sales in USA. Okay, that is my measure. And next one is I'm going to use calculate function. Okay, you don't have to type the entire function. And the first argument is your expression. Since we have the total measure that is already available, right? Total sales M. I'm going to instead of using sum of sales, I'm going to use the total because in the total sales measure, I already use the sum of sales, right? That is my first expression. You can reuse a measure. So this is a measure. This measure, I'm using it in this measure. Okay. Next is filter. Here, what I do is I'm going to say country Boolean expression. Country is equal to, I just say United States. It gives me, it means, I need to use double quotes, not the single quote. That's all. So the first argument is your expression. Second argument is your filter. The filter can be a Boolean expression or the table filter expression. Filter modification function that we'll see it later. Let's go step by step. I just press enter. No issues, no error. Okay, it successfully got created. So what is the measure name? Total sales in USA. Look here, it is the right total sales in USA M. I just drag and drop it here. Okay, I just increase the font size. I just move this other things, somewhere else so that you should not get confused. All you need to is focus here, okay? This is a measure, total sales M, right? Total sales. Okay, this one I created it here. In this measure, sum of sales, I computed it. This value will be supposed to be available here, right? So the moment when I drag and drop the total sales and measure, it gives me the total sales breakdown by category. Fine. Quantity, yes, fine. It is there. Next one is, so along with this, I want to see only in is USA, what is the total sales we made in each category? How can you do that? Right? Here, you have the measure, you just drag and drop. You have a column you can draw. So is there any possibility that, in the furniture category, what is the total sales we made only in USA? Is it possible to do that? That is possible with this measure, right? For that purpose, I have used the measure. That measure name is total sales in USA. I just show you here total sales in USA. This is the one, right? This is the measure I used. So this is a measure I just dropped it here. This measure contains what formula? Calculate function. Calculate the DAX function. The first argument is your expression. In this case, I have reused the measure, and then the filter can United States. So using the calculate function, you can add a new filter context, right? So by default, what happens is inside the matrix, where category equal to furniture, what the totals is, it gives me. Where office supplies, um, where category equal to office supplies, what is the total sales we made? All the country put together, okay? All the country put together in furniture category, what is the total sales we made? Office supplies, what is the total sales we made? Technology category, what is the total sales we made? We can see that. But we have started our company initially in USA. That is my base location. I wanted to compare my USA locations, total sales, along with the overall sales, all the country put together, what are the total sales? I want to compare this one with this one. I can see that 6,98,000 total sales we made in USA as opposed to the overall total sales in furniture. So we can add a new filter using the calculate function. Got it? This is one of the reasons why we use calculate function. You can add a filter context to your existing filter. See, already the filter comes from, by default, it comes from your matrix or table, right? Where category equal to furniture, it takes all the furniture related transactions, it computes the total sales. It takes all the records that are related to office supplies and then groups it, and then it computes the total sales. All the country, each category, how much total is fine. But in USA alone, in each category, so in this case, the calculate function used it. Using the calculate function, we have added a new filter context in addition to the row context, right? Fine. Is it clear or not? Okay. Using calculate function, we can add a filter to your existing visual. What I will do is I will just duplicate this page, right click on it. And so that in the next page, I'm going to remove all the crap. I just remove this one, and this is not required. And this is not required. I just leave this as it is. And I'm going to keep this one. Here also, I'm going to remove the sales bucket and all. And I'm going to use, let's say, I'm going to use category. Okay. So now the row level filter, you remember the initial filter context we discussed where category is equivalent to furniture. What is the total sales we made? So now what happened? Where category equal to furniture and country equal to USA, what is the total sales will be? So we have added additional filter along with the initial filter context using calculate function. Fine. And for example, if I apply furniture and technology, what happens? The furniture and technology category related total sales only got displayed. It got filtered. The office supplies got excluded. Okay, in the filter. Now what happens? So within this filter context, modified filter context, the furniture category, where category equal to furniture, what is the total sales? Same thing, where category equal to technology, so row level filter is happening. In addition to that, the additional filter, right? Where category equal to furniture and total sales in USA in furniture, what is that? It gives me that. So in this case, the filter comes from slicer as well as the row level and column level filter. Row level filter is happening. Okay. I just move this a little bit here, and then I'm going to copy paste this in the interest of time. I just move this down here. I'm going to resize it. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a column, another categorical column called segment. For the sake of simplicity, I just drop this column here. Look here. In this case, I have included an additional column called segment. The segment contains three values, the consumer, corporate, home office, right? Consumer, corporate, home office. Okay. So here, what have we first, ignore this one. The first one has a blank value. That's a nonsense thing. Okay, you can see here. So in the segment categorical column, we have three categories: the consumer, corporate, and home office. Okay. The category, we have furniture, technology, and office supplies. So, and if you see here, right, now the values got changed. The consumer segment, total sales, all the country put together, in furniture category, we made this one. Okay, and technology, in the where category equal to technology and segment equal to consumer, what is the total sales we made? So row level filter, column level filter comes for everything. Okay. And then if you see the total sales in USA, okay, in this case, what happened here? One second. Yeah, it gives me the totals in USA for each segment also, right? So if you see this column, row level filter, column level filter also applied. So in the category, furniture category, where segment equal to consumer and total in USA, what is the total sales? Right? So in the furniture category, consumer segment 20 lakhs we made, but in USA, we made 3,66,000. Understood? So in this case, where category equal to furniture, what is the total sales we made? And where category equal to furniture and total sales in USA, what is the total sales we made? Okay? But whereas here, we just extended this one. I have included another categorical column called segment. Now what happened? Additional filter, row level filter plus column level filter plus the additional filter that I used it in my calculate function, right? Row level filter, calculate function, and row level filter, column level filter, and calculate function also. I use the filter where country equal to UK, USA, right? That is what it shows here. Each segment also it shows. Okay. So row level filter, column level filter, and the calculate also. In addition to the calculate, I have included a filter called where country equal to United States. And in addition to that, the category filter also applied. So the slicer, okay, slicer, the filter comes, and row level filter and column level filter is also happening. Column level filter, row level filter, plus the calculate function also does that, right? So the calculate function, it added a new filter in addition to the row level, column level filter to the existing visual. Okay. And still it obeys the external filter called slicer. within this filter context, right? Within this filter in the furniture and technology, within this filter context, it modified, it has overridden the existing filter context, right? See, the total sales we made in furniture category is, total sales we made in furniture category is 20 lakh 10,000. But in this case, in addition to that, we want to see what is the total sales we made in consumer segment in category furniture in USA. Three conditions. Okay, within this filter context, right? So, it modifies, it overrides the existing filter context, right? Even though you select furniture, it overrides the existing one. Or you can say, no, you can have added the additional filter condition here in addition to this one, right? So now you understood with calculate function, you can add a new filter along with the existing default filter like a row level, column level filter. But if you see the same thing in the internet or other videos, right? They use filter context, row context, you will get confused. Filter context, you just think it's a filter, row context, row level filter. Okay, that's all. Okay, sorry, row by row, it calculates it, evaluates the expression, that's all. So row level is the row level filter context is the category equal to furniture, column level filter, and then calculate also we have used the filter. In addition to that, we have the filter comes from your external one. Okay, so we have added additional filter in addition to row level, column level, and slicer. We have added additional filter using the calculate function. Okay, and we have something else called all function. Okay, what I do is I don't want to use this one because you will get confused or you will get overwhelmed. I just copy this and paste it down here. We'll use the simple one to understand the complex one. Okay, I'm going to extend this with the filter modification function called all function. I'm going to take the same measure in the interest of time. Total sales in USA. I just copy this and then I'm going to create another measure, modeling ribbon. I just go here, click on the new measure. We have another way of creating the measure that I will show it later. Okay, don't worry. So now what I do is, I'm going to use, in addition to that, I'm going to use, for example, okay, instead of United States, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use all function. Okay, what we'll do is, yeah, in addition to that, I'm going to use the filter modification function called all. All is a filter modification function, okay? And here I just say simply sales W04, the category column. The all function takes the table name itself as an argument. You can specify the column name also. In this case, I just mentioned the category column. Okay. So the first one is an expression. Second is your Boolean condition. Third one is your filter modification function, all. Okay. And here, for us to understand, right, what measure this one is, I just, included all. Total sales in USA, all M. Where is that? Total sales in USA. And here, this is the one, right? Not this one, this is the one. I just drag and drop it here. Not this one, sorry, remove it. First, you need to select the visual and then only you need to drag and drop it. USA all, right? So in the, yeah, okay. What I will do is I just go here and then for the time being, I'm going to remove this condition, okay? Okay, let it be there. Okay. Okay, I just clear this filter now. Total sales in this one, okay, in United States, right? Okay. Okay, this is correct only, but you will get confused if I directly jump in the advanced concept like this. Wait. Still it is loading it. Wait for some time. Yeah, it is done. So here, in this case, what I did, I have used the calculate function, and the first expression is my total sales, which is nothing but sum of sales. Instead of using the Boolean or the table filter expression, I directly use the all function, the filter modification function. Using calculate function, we can add additional filter, right? In this case, look here, I just move this up. I just resize it and then move this up somewhere. See, now let us focus here, okay? I just, resize it so that, yeah. So here, it gives me the total sales, all the country put together, right? All the three category put together, what is the total sales? This is the one gets repeated across the rows here. Okay? Across the row here. So this is the measure. So in this measure, I've used the calculate function, wherein I have used the Boolean filter, like where country is equivalent to United States, right? So this is all the three, so in all the country put together, in the furniture category, what is the total sales? But here, okay, what is the total sales we made in furniture category? That is what we can see, right? Up to this, you are clear. Next one, I have created another measure by the name of total sales in USA all. Here, what I did, I have used the all function on the category column. Okay, but in the first expression was my total sales only. But what happened in this case, it displays the total sales across the rows repeatedly, right? So the all function, what it does is, it overrides the default behavior of the filters. Row level filter should happen, it is not happening. Column level, sorry, see here there is no column, okay, row level filter, that's not happening. And but what happened instead, it shows the total sales across the rows. For example, if row level filter was not applied here in this case, and I just select the furniture and the technology category, even when I select furniture technology category, what happens here is, it gives me the all the three categories put to the total sales here. That means whatever the filter that comes from the category column, simply ignore it. It's something like the simple analogy is, okay, this guy, right? This guy is, listen, this is our family, right? Inside the family, whatever the rules are there, he is obeying to that. Okay, he is obeying that. But within this filter context, the furniture filter context, where category to furniture, it adds additional filter, the calculate function, right? Like country equal to United States. What is the total sales? But this guy, right? What happens? This guy is not at all obeying the internal filter, row level filter, and also external filter also is not, is not obeying it. Some family they say, right, my son is not obeying to my family, neither to my family nor to the public. That is the case here. So the all function overrides the existing filter context. So the all function I used as part of our calculate function. When you use the all function as part of your calculate function, you can override the default filter comes from row level or the external level, right? So what is this one? All the three categories put together, what is the total sales, right? Look here, if I clear this one, 34 lakh 5,000, that is what it displayed here. This is called filter modification function. Similarly, we have all selected function is available and all except function is also available. All except all selected function available. So now the question is, okay, what is the purpose of repeating the same value across the rows? Now we understood the all function is a filter modification function. When I use the all function inside my calculate function, it overrides the default filter behavior. It overrides the existing filter context and it displays the total sales across, because in this case, any filter, see the category equal to furniture, right? Because here the category equal to furniture is the filter for this row. It is simply ignoring that because in the all function I mentioned the column category, hence it ignores that. Any filter comes from category column, it ignores it. Okay, it overrides the default filter context. All function. Now the question is, why should I override the default filter context? What is the purpose of displaying the same value across the rows? So supposing you want to calculate the percentage, for example, you want to display the percentage of the total sales achieved in each category, out of the total sales, right? So if I ask you, can you give me the percentage of total sales we made out of the total sales, what you do? So 11,84,000 divided by 34 lakh. That gives you the percentage of revenue contribution generated in the furniture. In addition to the sales value, you want to display the percentage also. Usually what we do is in Excel, it's pretty simple in Excel, right? So what you do is, you specify the cell name in the next column, right? So you can use this is your B1, right? This is B1. So what you do is equal to B1 divided by, let's say B, C, D, E, right? E1. So this one divided by this one. It will give you the percentage, right? 11,84,000 and 486 divided by 34 lakh 05691 gives you the percentage, right? But in the case of DAX, it is not possible to compute the percentage directly. It's not a pretty straightforward way. So hence what we do is the total sales, it display repeatedly across the rows. So that this value you can divide it by this one, and this value you can divide by this one, this value can be divided by this one. This is your numerator, this is your denominator, this is your numerator, denominator, you can do that. For that purpose, we can use all function. All function override the default filter context, right? That I have used as part of the calculate function. And in this case, I have added a new filter context. In this case, I have overridden the existing filter context. Right? So next one is, yes, percentage, right? How do I, what is the purpose of this one, right? So what I do is, I think I already used percent. No, percentage, yeah, percent of sales, all right. Look here, I've created another measure, right? So wherein, right, divide function I use it. Divide, this is my measure already, right? You know what is this? The sum of sales, right? Total sales, nothing but the, this values. This one divided by this one. Here what I do is, I just remove it for the sake of you people. Total sales in all, all M, right? Yeah. And here I just put comma 0 here. In case, this is your numerator, this is your denominator, there is a divide function in DAX that is available. So in the interview, they'll ask you, can you tell me the DAX function that you used it? I have given you so many DAX functions as part of count. So you can say count function, count X function, count A function, count AX function, distinct count, row count functions. In addition to that, we have something called all function, calculate function, divide function. Okay, if you list out like this one, right? Taka, they will be happy. Okay, this guy profile seems to be genuine. Okay, this is the numerator, and the denominator, I put this measure, right? And comma 0, why? Because, this is your numerator, denominator. In case the denominator, some value comes in, nonsense, right? Some 0 comes in, anything divided by 0 is 0. And, or is, anything divided by 0 is infinity, right? So it'll throw an error. In that case, you replace that by 0. Okay, for that reason, I used it. So I just press enter. So working on it. In case of any syntax, it will throw an error, okay? And then what I do is, now I just drag this measure and then I drop it here. Look here, it gives me the percentage. So what is happening here is, it takes this value as a numerator, and then the denominator it takes, it put this value, and then numerator divided denominator divides this and it gives me the percentage. Similarly, it takes this value and put this in the denominator. take this value divided by this one, it gives me this one. So now, in addition to the sales in terms of value, if you display the percentage, it gives you quick insight, right? So by seeing this smaller number, you can make, hey, technology category contributed almost 39% revenue contribution. The revenue contribution from technology category is 39%, almost 40%. Great. Sometimes when you see the number also, you'll get confused, especially if you have so many records, right? You'll get confused. The percentage will give you quick thing. You can sort the data. Look here, if you keep the thing, if you if you want to display it in this, fine. But sometimes in addition to number, they need the percentage. What is the percentage of contribution? So here I took this value and then I have divided by this one. Now the question is, now you tell me what is the revenue contribution of USA out of the total sales. Then in that case, you need to create a new measure. You need to take this, the divide function, right? This is your numerator column. This is your denominator column. That is the one will give you the percentage of contribution from USA. You can create another column, percentage of sales in USA. 2,16,000 divided by 34 lakhs. And similarly, you can compute the total sales revenue contribution of USA in the furniture category, right? You can take this one, divide by this one. You can take this one, divide by this one. You can take this one. So likewise, you can create additional insights, additional measures you can create. By creating additional insight measures, you can get additional insights. The more the insights, the better the decision you can take. Guys, I'm going to wrap up with this. I know it's a new topic, but this one you have to watch my video and practice it. Otherwise, this training program is waste. And if you, I just one thing, I'll just stop it.